Since it came out in September 15th, Undertale has gained an incredible amount of popularity at a very quick rate, and unless you've been living in a cave, you've probably at least heard something about it already. It's become so popular that it even won the Best Game Ever contest held by GameFAQs, which is actually one of the reasons why I wanted to do this video. Because of how fast it gained its popularity, it has generated a lot of controversy among people who play video games. It seems like many think that there's something fishy going on with the game and its fandom, since there really isn't anything that is special about Undertale, yet it's so extremely popular. And to a certain extent, I think it's logical to think that way. Now, don't get me wrong, as both a video game development student and as a player, I personally love Undertale, and I think it's a great game. But when we try to compare what makes Undertale a great game with what makes other games great games, we can find ourselves having some difficulties. For instance, let's assume that we all agree on The Witcher 3 being a great game. Of course, you can disagree with this, but just for the time being, and as an example, let's just say we all agree on this. What does The Witcher 3 offer that is impressive and shows how much work has been put into the game? Well, extremely good graphics, a huge open world with a huge number of characters and interactions, a lot of missions and content, a story you expect to be epic and immersive because of the background it has, which is previous games and the books, crafting systems, etc. These are very specific things, easy to explain, to see or to experiment in the game in their majority, and all of them can contribute in making the game look good and look appealing, even if you haven't played the game yet. And once you start playing, you can see most of them without having to invest too much time into the game, and you can quickly get an idea of how the experience of playing this game is going to be, more or less. But what happens if you try to explain what makes Undertale a great game? Well, it has an innovative combat system, good storytelling and characters, good design, and it dwells in relatively interesting subjects like morality. These are all very abstract things, with the exception perhaps of the innovative combat system, and they don't really show why the game is good or make it look that much appealing, nor are they easy to see without having to play a lot. Furthermore, I remember one time in which I was talking about the game with a friend, and I told him about the fact that you can solve combats without having to kill your enemies. The first thing he told me was, "Why would you do that? What's the point? That's not fun." Undertale's greatness is very hard to see from the surface and from the exterior. It lies in the way it slowly unfolds to the player, in the enormous amount of details that are there to support the world, in the subjects it deals with, and in the way it does so throughout the entire game, in how it constantly finds a way to surprise you to various degrees, and in how, little by little, step by step, it ends up gaining a place in the heart of most players very cleverly. And this greatness shines its brightest when discovered by someone that lets themselves be surprised, someone that is there to discover, to see what the game has to offer, to let themselves be transported into the world it presents and experience what happens in there. It is my firm belief that Undertale is best enjoyed the less you know and expect about it. But with all the popularity that it has gained, a lot of the people that try the game don't fit this profile anymore. They go into the game expecting to see why it's so great, expecting awesome things to happen, and are constantly on the lookout for them in the time they play. But after they find nothing, they just leave, and the belief that all the hype for the game isn't justified gets stronger. So, because it can be hard to see or explain why the game is so good, I find it relatively reasonable that part of the gaming community is starting to bash on the game and its fandom. That doesn't mean I think we should stop talking about the game, or talk less about it, or not recommend it, by any means. The main reason I wanted to talk about this was just to show one of the reasons why someone would start bashing on the game, with the hope that this knowledge would perhaps help a bit in avoiding some arguments. So, to everyone that has enjoyed the game, here's a GameFAQs quote. "Please continue to softly spread the word in a soothing and non-irritating manner." And with that, we reach the end of the video. Don't kill and don't be killed, alright? That's the best you can strive for.